and I'm going to do a couple of things before I put my makeup on. Now, keeping it real, first of all, apologies. I need to get rid of my chinny chin hair. And I finally found this, which is what I used to do it. And it needs a new battery. So, hence the roll-up collar. Let's do that. You know me, I like to keep it real. Hello, Terry. Hello. Right, I've got some beauty blush ones to show you and some further thoughts about it. Now, please excuse me if I get really word blind or fumble over my words, because I am really suffering from the menopause insomnia at the moment. I didn't sleep at all last night. Didn't go to sleep at all. I was awake through the night. So I'm going to go and lie down afterwards. I know you're not supposed to make up in the day and everything else, but I am going to go and lie down later. But if I start forgetting words or whatever, it's because I haven't slept. Okay. Now, before I get into the beauty blush ones, because I know a lot of you said, thank you for the swatches, but I want to see how you apply them. And I said I was going to do it today on my live and give you some further thoughts. So I'm going to do that in a minute. But I was catching up, as you probably noticed last night. I was really bad during the time that I was ill over Christmas at replying to my comments on YouTube. So I was catching up on them last night, and a couple of people asked me some comparison questions. So I've written down their names, so that, obviously, because otherwise I'd forget them. And I promised them that, hello there, Jennifer. Did not know you was on today. Yep, I am on today. It is Thursday, isn't it? It is Thursday. You see, I don't even know what day it is. It is Thursday. I'm sure it's Thursday. Right, so, because I haven't slept. Thursday at 1 o'clock is my normal time. So, well, it is now. I changed it from Wednesday. So I had a couple of comparison requests. And they posted these comments about 3 weeks ago. So hopefully they haven't given up on me. And they will see that I've replied and said, I'll do this tomorrow in my live. But they were really good swatch comparison requests. So I thought I'd do those first. Thank you. No, it's all right, Jennifer. I don't trust myself. Because I was thinking, hang on, is it Wednesday? Is it Friday? It is Thursday. Great. Okay. So first of all, we have a swatch comparison request. I thought I'd do these first. And then if they just want to see the swatch comparisons, they don't have to sit through the whole live. And then if you want to watch the beauty blush ones, then you've got to sit through the whole live. Okay? So Zahra with an H. Hello, Zahra. Big shout out to Zahra. Zahra asked, is the new Blossom Red lipstick similar to Red Hot Susan? Very good question. So we shall swatch them. And of course I haven't bought my wipes with me, which is going to make it impossible to do a lip swatch. But I can swatch them on my hands. So here is Red Hot Susan. Really good request here. I'll do it on my hands. So that's Red Hot Susan. And I'll do it on the inside of my arm as well in a minute, so you can see it on warm and cool undertones. Sorry, that is not Red Hot Susan. See, I'm doing it already. This is not Red Hot Susan. This is the new Blossom Red. Okay? Blossom Red. Blossom Red. Okay, and Red Hot Susan, I never got the full size. I only got the little refill. So Red Hot Susan, I reckon it's going to be quite similar. Possibly slightly darker. I don't know. Or maybe not. Right, so Red Hot Susan. It's brighter. Red Hot Susan is brighter. So Blossom Red's got a little bit more brown in it. So now let's do that on the cool tone of my arm. So again, Blossom Red. In case you've got a cool undertone. I've still got, look at this. How bad am I? I've still got the swatches from yesterday. That's because I rushed out the door. I do wash, I promise you. I rushed out the door to go and visit my dad, and then I was up all night. So, right, this is Blossom Red. Okay. Anyway, at least you can see that the blushes are quite long lasting. Was just going to say that's identical, then you said it's Blossom Red. Yeah, I know, I'm getting confused. So that's Blossom Red on a cool undertone. And then here's Red Hot Susan on a cool undertone. Isn't it strange? Now, I would have said, so that's Red Hot Susan. That's Blossom Red. I would have said that Red Hot Susan is quite an orangey red, but when you put it next to Blossom Red, it looks quite a blue red. It's just when you see them in comparison to other things. So it's definitely more of a muted red. It's a more wearable. Now this is a sort of Blossom Red, I would say. If you're thinking, is this lipstick for me? What I would say for you is if you're the sort of person... Hello, Stacey. I know you're there. Have I not said hello to you? Sorry. As I said, I'm sort of out of it because I've not slept all night. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Stacey. Yes. That's why I just said, when you said you were going to say it was identical to Blossom Red. Hello, Maria. Now, this is Blossom Red, the new one. Now, if you're wondering if this is for you, I would say, if I was choosing this, if I was somebody's personal shopper, I would say that this is a lipstick. If you like the idea of wearing red, if you feel like you need to brighten up your face, but you're a little bit intimidated by wearing red lipstick, and you don't feel that confident, then I think Blossom Red is perfect because it's got just, it's not even an orangey red, it's more of a browny red, but it's got enough brown in it to make it a very wearable red. And I'm going to regret this because I haven't got my wipes, but if I just show you Blossom Red, if reds intimidate you and you just take your Blossom Red and you start patting it on, like that, can you see actually it looks a lot more orangey, but you can get a lovely stain that is going to brighten up your face, but you're not going to feel like, if you're going to work and you feel a little bit intimidated by reds, you're not going to think, oh, I'm wearing a red lipstick, I feel a bit uncomfortable, because you can kind of build it up. And Charlotte does this technique with, see, I'm going to forget the names, but the lipstick in the vintage vamp look, Savage Rose. She does that and says, if you're intimidated that it's too dark, you can, this is the one time she says you don't need to use lip liner, is when you're kind of patting it on and building it up to a kind of wearable colour. So you can see that's Blossom Red, just patted on the lips. But if I was to put it on like this, then it's more in your face. Now, Stacey says she loves it and she hates orangey reds. Yes, it's a toned down red. It's not too warm. It's because, Stacey, if you look at it next to Red Hot Susan, you can see it's a brownie red. It's not really an orangey red. It's a brownie red. So anyway, so that's for Zahra. Okay, so Zahra, this is Red Hot Susan, and this is Blossom Red. And I really wish now that I'd got my wipes next to me so that I could actually put on Red Hot Susan for you. Just bear with me. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hobble. And yes, that is still my Christmas tree up because Jack has been promising to take it down. It's February and we still have a Christmas tree up in our house. I'm going to hobble into the kitchen and get some wipes because I know I've got some in here somewhere. There they are. They've dried out a bit, but that's all right. I can wet them. I need to get some refills of these. These are actually very good. They've dried out, but you get refills and they go in here. And I think I must have left it open one day, but they are actually very, very good because they are quite wet when you get them. And I need to get some refills from Look Fantastic sell them. They're not like your normal average makeup wipe, okay? Look, I've got lipstick and everything over them. Let me just concentrate on walking back to the chair or I could trip over. I'm not very good on my feet still. My balance isn't great. These are by DHC. Now, they're very different from your normal makeup wipe. And obviously, oh, what have I done now? I've gone and turned my camera around. Seen all the mess on my table. Right. They're quite different. They're very much like, you know when you get that moist toilet tissue. So they're quite thin, but they're wet. Right. And the good thing is then, I wouldn't be, you know, using them as to cleanse your face at night. Because you need to properly cleanse your face at night. But what's good about them is they're really good for this. It's like if you're trying something on and you just want to get rid of the first remnants of your makeup before you do a proper cleanse, they're really good for that. Now, I've just had to wet these again because they've dried out. But they are quite wet when you get them. And they don't normally dry out. It's just I left the lid open. Now, let me quickly show you Red Hot Susan so you can see what that looks like on me. And then I shall move on to my second comparison request and then we'll get on to the blush ones. Has anyone been commenting as I've been hobbling around my kitchen? Daisy keeps promising, but bless her, she's... Oh, what? Your tree's still up too. Oh, thank you, Maria. I don't feel quite so bad now. I'm not the only one. Maria, you made me feel a lot better. Jack was so keen to put it up, but not so keen to take it down. He says, I never can squeeze all the decorations back into the box. Right. Now, that does look quite orangey on me. That is almost, it's a darker version of Hot Emily. That's Red Hot Susan. But you can see that is more of a red. Like a bright red. Again, I'm just going to take that off and I'm going to show you. I'm just doing it a bit haphazardly. I'm going to show you if I do a... You can actually build this. You can do it with any lipstick, but particularly these reds. But this one's going to look more orange when you do that. Okay? But I would definitely say if you want the versatility of a lipstick that you can get away with wearing for work, that's going to brighten up your complexion because it's red, but it's not going to be too much in your face red. And that one that you could dial up maybe, you know, Charlotte's always talking about dialing up for the night, isn't she? Then actually you will like this new Blossom Red. Blossom Red? Yeah. Right. So that's the first swatch request. Is everyone still with me? Right. Now, the second swatch request, your tree is still up. Terry and Maria, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can be the tree still up group. Should we leave it up till next year? Except I hope I'm not here next year. I hope I'll have moved by then. I did see the pic of you wearing Blossom Red. We can just say we've got our Christmas tree up early. I'm so relieved. So that's 2 of you. I'll have to do a post now when it finally gets taken down. Now, the other swatch request I had, another really great question, and I don't know the answer to this, and I'm literally trying this as we go. So I had another question from QuickWorks. Hello, QuickWorks. You've left mine up all year before. You're a rebel. Good, let's all be rebels together. So QuickWorks asked whether the new Rose Gold Glow highlighter is similar to the highlighter in the Medium Deep Beautifying Face Palette. So your wish is my command. I'm just checking that I've got the medium to deep one. That's the medium to deep one. So we shall check this out. Some really, people really spot some similarities here, I think. So I've still kept these in the boxes. But I am getting a bit irritated. Was it Stacey saying she'd get a bit irritated taking them in and out of the boxes? It's just that I don't want them to break. Right, so we've got Rose Gold, the new Rose Gold highlighter, which is this one. And so QuickWorks wanted me to compare it. Oh, well, you got, I think fairy lights all year round is a good idea. She wanted me to compare it with the highlighter in here. So if you have a look at these, I would say that this immediately looks a bit lighter, but you never know. You never know. So let me just swatch these again on the coolest and the warmest part of my arm. So this is for QuickWorks. But you put them in a compact organizer. Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to get another one of those compact organizers because I've filled them up with my blushes and stuff. Right, so let me just get rid of this lipstick swatch off my arm. Otherwise, you never know. It might be there come the weekend if I don't sleep tonight. Right, I'll get rid of that as well while I'm here. Right. So here is the Rose Gold in the new Architect highlighter. And I'm just going to swatch it here first so you can see. Have you? So Maria's seen compact organisers in Poundland this week. I also hear that Aldi are doing a few, but I don't know whether they're for compacts. Right, so that is the Rose Gold Architect highlighter. And here is the highlighter for the Pillow Talk, what does she call it again? Beautifying Face Palette. So as you can see, it is quite a bit lighter. I'm just going to swatch all the other shades because There's the other one here, of course, at the bottom, which is what she calls her multi-glow, which might be quite similar. I'm wondering actually if the multi-glow, I haven't got this, but Stacey can answer this. Oh no, Stacey hasn't got it. I wonder if the multi-glow is similar to the one I haven't got that I wanted to get, Sunset Glow. So yeah, the multi-glow is pinker and the highlighter is lighter. So yeah, then you're not, I suppose the reason people ask this question, I'm making assumptions. I don't know why she was asking, but I'm assuming it's that she's got the Face Architect highlighter and doesn't want to double up and get something that is exactly the same. So this is far more peachy toned. This is more pinky toned. You have it now. Is that the same? Would you say then, Stacey, if you got Sunset Glow, is that Sunset Glow? Does that look like Sunset Glow? You think the Sunlit is warmer? Okay. So less pink. So yeah, you won't be doubling up with your Beautifying face palette in medium to dark if you get the Rose Gold Architect highlighter. So that, as I said, was for quick works. Now let's get on to the Beauty Blush ones. So I've got some further thoughts and things, because obviously yesterday I was going to visit my dad and my sister was coming over, and I wanted to get out the swatches, but I didn't have time to do a kind of try on and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do today. I just wanted to explain, first of all, let me grab these highlighters, blushes I mean. And I'm really pleased because I finally found my lost Goldgasm. And it was bugging me because I know what I own of Charlotte Tilbury's, even though I own a lot. And if I'm missing something in my collection, it really bugs me. But I found it. I found my Goldgasm. Anyway, enough of that. That's completely irrelevant. So yesterday, if you saw my swatch video, which was only about 55 seconds long, I was saying about they're very matte, which of course they are. They're a beauty matte wand, right? But what I was trying to get across is, and I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by this. So on Charlotte's website and on a lot of the social media swatches that are out there, what they do is this. And I'm just going to highlight what I was trying, because I didn't explain very well, I don't think, what I was talking about. So what they do is they push up a whole load. That's probably not, perhaps not that much. I pushed up a lot there. Right, they push up a whole load and then they're swatching it like this. Right? So you see that and you think, oh, that's glowy. Right, so that's how I've been seeing the swatches on Instagram, on Charlotte's site, whatever. But actually, you're not going to put it on your cheeks like that, let's face it. Because actually, these are very pigmented. And if you saw my swatches yesterday, I might as well go over what I did yesterday. Is if you, let me just wipe a little bit. I'm wasting so much, I know, but if you actually swatch it and let it dry down, it's actually quite matte, right? So what I was trying to say is this kind of swatch can be misleading, that it makes you think, yeah, it's matte, but it's got a bit of a glow to it still. And it isn't. It's got more of a, I think Lena on film described it as a kind of suede finish. Because when it dries down, it looks like that. Can you see what I mean? Whereas people are looking at these swatches and thinking, oh, that's glowy. And it's because it's still wet. because they've taken a big lump of it and whatever, and it's not dried. But dry it down and it's going to give you a suede finish. So I hope I've explained a little bit more what I meant by that. Right, now the one that I've just swatched there, by the way, is the pink Pillow Talk Pink Pop. All right. And I experimented with them last night, and I've got a very much pigment is pigment use for one of them. I'm going to show you in a minute. But they would, yeah, I'm not saying that you wouldn't look glowy because you've got your beautiful skin foundation. There's nothing wrong with them being matte at all. But I'm just worried that people looking at swatches like that will think that they've got a glow to them, when actually, when you dry them down and you put a little bit on your cheek, they're going to look more like that. Okay. Now, while I put my foundation on, I'm going to say something else about these. These are lovely, and I couldn't wait. I had to get them all. And I'm going to tell you, like, if you don't want to get them all, I'm going to give you my thoughts on what would suit, who would suit what. You can never blend them. You wish you could use cream, but you can never blend them. I think the trick with blending creams in is primers. And if you've got dry skin, I mean, to be honest, I haven't prepped my skin very well today. So I'm replying here to Kim's comment. Hello, Kim. I think the trick is to make sure, if you've got dry skin, and is that you moisturize and you prep your skin well beforehand, because especially with these, if you just dab a little bit on, they can. Now, the reason I know this, I did apply them to my cheek last night, but I actually had my sister over and I applied them to my sister's cheek, and I could see them drying before I had a chance to blend it. Hello there, Kim. So I could see them drying. So if you're putting a tiny bit on, which you want to do because they're quite pigmented, you just don't put it on each cheek and then start blending, because you might find that you've got a patch there and it's not blended in. Now, you can blend them in with your fingers, or you can blend them in, what Charlotte's done a lot of on her demonstrations, and I've seen a lot of people using, is the Hollywood brush, which I'm going to find now for you. So, yeah. Now, let me put on a little bit of Beautiful Skin foundation. I'm just going to put it on with my hands. Also, I wouldn't put them over powder. Now, I nearly forgot what I was about to tell you all. These are lovely, and I'm not for 1 minute putting them down at all when I say this. But it's an observation that has to be made. Now, you know my good friend, Mr. Daniel Sandler, who's a lovely man, makes watercolour blushes. And these are actually very similar to his. They're perhaps a little bit thicker in consistency to the watercolour blushes, but I think they apply to the face in a very similar way. And I think a lot of Daniel's makeup, because he doesn't market products, he doesn't like spend big bucks on marketing and advertising and everything else. Marketing is advertising, isn't it? But, you know, I'm thinking not telly adverts. He doesn't, you know, doesn't spend a huge amount on marketing, but he does actually create some really good quality products. I think they are very similar to the watercolour blushes, and you get more for your buck with the Daniel Sandler ones. The difference is, of course, is the way that they dispense. Now, Daniel's watercolour blushes are not that user-friendly if you're a kind of a beginner or you're not very confident applying makeup and blush, because you have to shake the bottle and you put a little bit on your hand and you dab it in. Whereas on Charlotte's ones, you've got your dispenser. So these are kind of a bit more user-friendly, but in terms of the actual formula and the way that it dries down on the skin, I would say that they are quite similar, a little bit thicker in consistency, but quite similar to the concept of Daniel's watercolour blushes. So, you know, do go and check those out because they are a bit of a makeup artist hero product. Now, a little bit of Beautiful Skin Foundation. I definitely need a little bit of concealer. I'm going to put this Mini Miracle Eye Wand. It definitely need Mini Miracle Eye Wand today. I'm not going to bother with the serum though. But lack of sleep and all that. Now, I wouldn't put these, I don't know if I've just said this, but I would definitely not put them over powder. It's not the end of the world if you forget and you put your powder on first, but it's just, they're going to apply better without powder. You know, you always put, general rule of thumb is liquids and creams go before powder. And then powder blushes you can put on after powder. It's just that they will apply better and more evenly. So I'm not going to put, and to be honest, today, my skin, because I haven't slept, my skin is drinking up any moisture I put on it. So I probably don't really need powder today because it's just going to make my skin look really dry. Obviously, if you've got oily skin, then you probably need powder, but don't feel you've got to put powder on if your skin's telling you it doesn't need it. And everything's being soaked up because I haven't slept. Do you ever get that when you don't sleep and you put moisturiser on and you can feel your skin soaking it up? Stacey's only buying CT makeup from now on. I have a little pot of money for Charlotte Tilbury new items. I save up. So because I kind of think with my channel, it's become expected of me to review Charlotte Tilbury's new items. I still won't buy things if I think that they're a bit of a waste of time. But generally, I've got a pot of money for that. Hello there, Nuala. But I mean, I couldn't go and buy lots of, like, if I started reviewing loads of new makeup items that were just out, I'd be broke. So, and I'm not making enough money on YouTube. Yesterday, I got so frustrated because it was taking so long for even that 55-second video for it to be approved for adverts. And before it gets approved for adverts, you don't make any money if people watch it. And since the lockdown as well, so many new channels started up that I do not get the views that I used to get. And of course, I haven't been as consistent as other people because of my disability and because health conditions get in the way. So I've got all my loyals and I really appreciate that. And you've all stuck with me. And I really, really do appreciate that. But I used to get a lot more views. So it would bring back more money to buy products. But I might be thinking in the next few weeks, I was talking to Rebecca about doing some other money making ideas just to get a bit of a contribution. As I say, my Charlotte Tilbury purchases, I put money aside for that. But if you want me to bring you a lot of other new products from other brands, then I might look to doing something that is paid for. But if I do, I'll talk to you and consult with you first. Right, now let's get on with this. So I've just put a bit of foundation and a bit of this Mini Miracle Eye Wand. You'll start with watching my videos twice and I'll thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. Miss Ali, you seem to be harder for me to find. That's because I'm a smaller channel. So the less people you have subscribing to you, the harder you are to find. But if you click on that subscribe button and then click on the bell, it should inform you. Charlotte Tilbury is my favourite, but Victoria Beckham's eyeliner in Cocoa is absolutely beautiful. Isn't it just? Did you see, Kim, my video on the liners that I put out last week? Because I'm going to do a follow-up and I'm going to do a video of lid lusters. Because I've got virtually all of them apart from 2. So I'm going to do the lid lusters. And I'm also going to put out that much promised one where I'm going to show you a lot of the different shades of Flawless Filter. Right, now, let's apply this blush. Now, I wanted to try something last night because I immediately had this idea. YouTube never gives you notifications. Oh, that's annoying. Are you on Instagram? Because I often post on Instagram when I'm about to put out a video. Oh, you see, you're all so lovely. It's such a supportive group. You watch me twice and you sit through the adverts. You're so lovely. Thank you so much. And please tell your friends to subscribe to me as well. Or your partners, even if, you know, they don't watch me, get them to click that subscribe button. It all helps. Now this is one of the 4 shades. This is Pillow Talk. I love this shade because I think this is a shade that is going to suit pretty much anyone. And again, it's one of those shades that's a little bit muted, but it's great for work. Now, can you see it's still wet, so it's glowy? It looks glowy, but don't be fooled by that. It will dry down matte. It's a bit purpley pink, and I just think this is such a beautiful shade. It's my favourite of all the 4. But last night I had to try something, and it worked really well. And I'm going to show you. This is not typical application of the Beauty Blush wand, but look. It fits into that socket really easily. And then you can just blend it in and you've got a beautiful shade. And then if you wanted to, you could use one of the highlighter ones. Now, the thing about the highlighter ones is they don't dry down as well for putting them on your lid. But this dries down well enough to put it on your socket. I better do the other one now. And I was thinking last night, how am I going to show you all the shades? Because I've got 4 shades of blush here. And, I mean, I've got my wipes with me. So, I can actually show you all the 4 shades. Do you want to see all the 4 shades? I've got 2 cheeks and 4 shades. So, let's do all the 4 shades, shall we? But anyway, that's just Pillow Talk blush on the eyes. It just makes it a really easy way, if you're in a rush, to kind of contour your eyes. And then you can put one of your pop shades on the lid and you're good to go. Yeah. And as I said, the reason I'm saying this is because it dries down and it's matte. So you can shove that on and then a bit of something shimmery on your lids, like one of your pop shots, and you're good to go. Right, now, I did try using one of the lighter ones on my lid, but that didn't work as well because you really got to build up the colour, and it doesn't dry down enough because I like to have it quite a pop on my lids. It would if you just put a little coating on there, but it just didn't work as well. But this is beautiful for doing that. Right, now let's show you. No, I'm going to start with the lightest. Let's start with the lightest. So this is Pillow Talk Pink Pop. And I was going to look for... Oh, I've got it here, haven't I? Let's see. Is this not too covered in foundation? Right, now, the other thing you'll find with these is that you're not going to get this as dirty because they're not as gloopy. And you don't need to squeeze as much up because you really don't need a lot of this. They're quite pigmented. So this is the Pink Pop. Now this will be good if you've got fair skin. What I'm going to do, because I think I might have a bit of concealer on that brush. You can see it gives you a nice, this is kind of, if we're looking at equivalents, this is sort of First Love, cheek to cheek. It gives you that subtle je ne sais quoi on my skin tone. Now, if you've got cool, fair tone skin, it's going to give you a bit more of a pop of colour. But you can see it's a lovely sort of light, very spring-like. And when you turn, now you can see, when I say it's matte, it doesn't look matte on the, when you swatch it, it looks matte. But if you've got your, you see, I'm getting word blind now because I haven't slept. When you've got your beautiful skin foundation underneath, that's going to shine through. Okay, so that is the pink one, Pink Pop, Pillow Talk Pink Pop. All right, I'm just making sure this is done up. Now the next one is Peach Pop, and I said I'm really excited about this one because when you've got hyperpigmentation and you've got these little cheek peaks of kind of brown marks, nothing is better than a peach blush for just minimizing it. Doesn't get rid of it completely, but it minimizes it. So this is, now you can see there's still a little bit of pink in there. It's not completely peach. It's like a coral, really, isn't it? So again, I'm just going to twist a little bit up. Now that's probably too much. You're going to use less of these than you are the highlighters. That's the other thing to say. All right. And I'm going to actually, because I think I've put too much on there, I'm actually going to dab this on with my finger because I don't want to put too much on. I'd rather build it up. Now, can you see what I mean? Where my pigmentation is, it's just minimize the pigmentation a bit. This is just, I think this is lovely. And this with, if you've got Peachgasm, right, and you use this as your blush and you put Peachgasm as your highlighter, that's going to look lovely. I mean, you don't need to go and buy them both, but I'm just saying if you've got Peachgasm. Let me see if this is Peachgasm, is it? No, that's Pinkgasm. Here's Peachgasm. So you see what I mean? These get really messy. can put that over the top and combine the two. Just something else you can do if you want to. But you might just want to go, you see, this is a really nice subtle day look. It just makes you look like, you know, you've got a bit of colour in your cheeks, but it doesn't make you look like you put loads of blusher on. Okay, now I'm going to get one of my wipes. I'm going to end up taking my foundation off, but that's all right. We can always put it back on. You like the light one? Yeah, Terry, the light one would look good on you. If you didn't have your channel, which ones would I buy? If I didn't have my channel, I would have gone for Pillow Talk and the peach one. I would have steered clear of the light one because it's, you know, if you're trying to rule out which ones to get, I would say the light one's going to be for lighter skin than mine. But it still shows up on mine, as you can see. But I would have definitely gone for Pillow Talk, and I'd have definitely gone for the peach one because of my pigmentation. But I like them all. So I didn't, you know, sometimes I go now and I think I want to review them, and I just think I can't justify getting all the shades, and I don't want all the shades. Whereas with these, I didn't mind getting all the shades because I think they're all really usable. So I think the peach one, again, they all look beautiful on any skin tone, but I think particularly the peach one would look good on any skin tone. And I actually think the Pillow Talk one would look good on any skin tone. I think the lighter pink one is probably going to look slightly better if you've got fairer skin and cooler undertone. And the darkest one, which is called Dream Pop, is probably better on Afro-Caribbean skin because it's quite dark. But I'm going to talk to you about that one in a minute. You'd like the pink and the Pillow Talk. Yeah, I think that's a good choice for you, Stacey. Now, next we're going to do the Pillow Talk, and then I'll do the Dream Pop. So this one is the Pillow Talk. Let's see if I've got enough on this. I have. Now, the colour of this reminds me a lot of, not the consistency, but the colour reminds me of a couple of other blushes that I've got. It reminds me of the cream ones that Charlotte did in the lighter one of the two that I carry around with me a lot, and I've forgotten the name of it. But you know the cream Pillow Talk blushes, the lighter one of the two. I think it was called Dream something. Stacey will tell me. Stacey's good at remembering names. It reminds me of that, and it also reminds me of the Victoria Beckham blush that she did in collaboration with Estee Lauder. It's that kind of shade, and I really like that on me because that looks like my natural skin tone, and that is by far the favourite for my complexion. And as you can see, because I've got it on my eyes, it kind of brings it together. Colour of Dreams, thank you, Stacey. Very similar to Colour of Dreams. And I think very flattering on any skin tone. And incidentally, just a little bit of a fact that I heard yesterday. So I was listening to Lena talking about them, Lena on Film. Now, Lena is a makeup artist that works at Charlotte Tilbury. And she was saying that this is the exact colour of Pillow Talk lipstick. Which, if you look at it, it is. That she actually asked them to make the blush the exact colour of Pillow Talk lipstick. So if you put Pillow Talk lipstick on, it's going to go really well. You know, because sometimes I think with these Pillow Talk products now, They're just putting pillow talk on anything, almost, you know. And you think, well, not necessarily going to go with my pillow talk product, but this actually matches the lipstick. So it's a bit like if you wanted a similar effect and you didn't want to buy this, or you couldn't afford to buy this, you could dot a bit of pillow talk lipstick on your cheek. Okay. Yeah, we really, I want to get the pop shots as well, Stacey. So there's 2 new pop shots coming out, and the purple one looks really yummy. Now, the last one is, I can't get diverted because I'll forget what I'm saying. I'll come back to the pop shots in a minute. So this one is the Dream Pop. Now, this may look a bit more intimidating, but just remember that less is more, because these are pigmented. Do not put a load, and certainly not the way they're swatching them on Instagram. Because if you swatch them like that and put them on your cheek, you're going to end up looking like Aunt Sally out of Wurzel Gummidge. If you live in the UK, you know what I mean. Now, with this, you can see there's too much on that. That's going to be... Now, but this one reminds me of the effect that you would get if you used a blush like Love is the Drug. So don't think of it as, oh, that's too dark for me because I've got pale skin. If you want a real pop of colour, spring-like pop of colour, you can still use this, but just go easy and build it up. So I'm literally going to put that on first and then just build it up until you're happy. Now you can see I put a tiny dot on and just work it in. And if you put it straight over your foundation, especially a glowy one like Beautiful Skin, that's going to help you to blend it in. Can you see? Or you can really just put a pop in the middle of your face like that. And then, as I say, you really, I swap fingers because I don't want to use too much product. How is the peach one? What do you mean, how is the peach one? I'm not understanding what you're asking, Terry. What does it look like? Oh, I did the peach one a minute ago. I'll do it again, don't worry. The peach one, that's the one where I applied the peach gasm over the top. Let me just show you again. Right, so just ignore that. Let me just put it, I'll put it somewhere else. You were letting your dog out. That's all right, don't worry. Can you see the peach one? Now, what I was saying about the peach one, Terry, was that if you've got the cheek peaks here, then this is actually going to help to hide that pigmentation. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Don't need to keep wiping my makeup off. I'll just put a bit more foundation over here. Yeah, very flattering, and would just give you, it would just give you that kind of, maybe not been for a jog, because I always think if you go for a jog, not that I do, because I can't, but you know, if you went for a brisk walk with the dog first thing in the morning, what tends to happen with your face is you get the pink pop. So this is going to give you a bit more of a warm pop. So this is a peach one. I've just put a bit more foundation on. You think you'll get the light pink and the peach? Sounds like a good plan. See? So that's a peach. And can you see what the other thing I said was that it's peach, but there's a bit of pink in it as well. So it's a bit like, again, if we're talking equivalents in colour, I would say this is the equivalent in liquid form. This is the equivalent of Ecstasy, the peach one. And the pink pop is the equivalent of First Love. This is the equivalent, the Dream Pop is the equivalent of Love is a Drug. And Pillow Talk, I want to say Pillow Talk's the equivalent of Sex on Fire, but I never liked Sex on Fire and I like this. So, I don't know. This one's difficult. This one's just lovely. And you can still see it on my eyes. Probably Pillow Talk. You know, she's got the Pillow Talk cheek to cheek blush, hasn't she? So I'd say that's probably the equivalent. But that one is, we're talking equivalents. That one is Love is a Drug. Dream Pop, Love is a Drug. Peach Pop, Ecstasy, because it's pinky peach. And Pink Pop is First Love. If that helps. Now that I've got that in the socket of my eyes, this is Pillow Talk. Let me finish off while I'm chatting to you all. I've got a different colour on each cheek, but who cares? I'm going to put a bit of my Pillow Talk 12-pan palette on. And I'm going to do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the day look. The reason I'm going to do the day look is it's going to really, that colour is very similar to the Pillow Talk blush that I've put in the socket. I think only one of those two shades is needed. Yeah. So, but that one, if you look at this shade, so this, I'm talking now the day look of the 12-pan Pillow Talk palette. It's quite similar to the blush. So, you know, that's why it's looking, and it's just so easy to get in the socket there and do the windscreen wipe a bit. Right, but then all you need to do, I'm actually going to use two shades. I'm going to do the middle shade, which is a shimmery shade, and I'm not even going to use a brush. And then I'm going to highlight the middle of my eye to give me a bit of a further pop with the highlighter shade. Are they limited edition? No, I do not believe that they are, Jennifer. I don't think they are. I think that they're new regulars. I'm pretty certain that they're not limited edition. So I'm just using the lighter shade over the middle to give a bit. Now what that does is, if you've got, I know, apologies if I'm repeating myself, but when you've got new people joining, it's always good to repeat yourself. If you've got hooded lids like me, so this bit is actually coming forward, and you want to give the impression that this is further back and that the eye is more concave and this isn't hooded as much, what you want to do is make that look further back and this look further forward. And by doing that, you take a matte darker shade here, and then you put something highlightery in the middle here, because that will then make this look like it's coming out further, which will in turn make this look further back, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to just use a little bit of that. I'm being really lazy using my fingers, but I love putting shimmer shades on. Yeah, I'm sure they're a permanent addition. And then I'll put this highlighter on here and here. But you see, now that was the Pillow Talk blush. But let me just build this up in the corner with the powder from this Day Look, and you'll see very similar colour. Just see? And it's just a simple look. It just looks fresh and simple. Now, what I feel like I need to do in order to kind of make this look like a complete look, other than put some lipstick on, is, you know, as I've got older, my eyelashes have just gone really straight. Have you used your new mini brush set yet? Do you know what? I haven't. I kind of collect them, and then because I haven't been out, like, I tend to use my brush sets when I'm going away or I'm out and about, and I put one in the car. But because I've been ill and I haven't really been out, I tend to use these ones. So I will get around to using them. Now, what I was saying about the eyes is that it doesn't look finished because these eyelashes, I do actually have eyelashes. It's just that they're really straight. But what I'm going to do first, rather than putting, because I've not slept, and the worst thing when you've not slept is to put loads and loads of mascara on. I might put on a little bit, but I really do not want to put on a lot of mascara. So what I'm going to do, just to open my eyes, in fact, why don't I use Sleep Cheat? Let's use Sleep Cheat. Now, the reason that this is a very clever marketing product. So Charlotte bought this out the end of last year. If you've got the Eye Cheat by Charlotte Tilbury and you've got a navy liner, you don't need this. But it's the navy liner and the combination of the navy eyeliner and the kind of nude pencil that cheats a more open eye. Because it will give you the definition, but it's less harsh than black. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue and I'm scratching the upper waterline. I actually love the feeling of this. Now, can you see how that immediately just makes my lashes look thicker? And I haven't put mascara on yet. And also, I've not taken up a lot of space. Because when you've got hooded eyes, you don't actually have a lot of space on your mobile lid. When you shut your eyes, they disappear. I don't have those sort of lids where you've got like a ton of room to show. So by doing it in the upper waterline, I'm getting that intensity of a black line, but without taking up too much of the lid. And then what I'll do is I'll draw it out at the side like that. And again, if you just imagine, this is a little trick that I said last week. If you start your line, don't put a dark line all the way across. because it'll make your eyes look smaller. Just do it sort of about a quarter way across. But if you start your line there and imagine that you're doing a line and you're drawing the line up to where your brow ends, right, you will get the right angle for your flick. It's just an easier way of doing it. And especially if you've got hooded lids. I need to sharpen this pencil. Because I'm dragging my eyes too much. But you get the idea. I can't be bothered to sharpen it at the moment. Right, and I'm just going to blend that with my finger. Because it's looking a bit harsh. And we don't want it to look that harsh. Right? Now, can you see the difference that makes just doing that? And then, if you then combine it with this, and you put this in your lower waterline, then by the time you go to put your mascara on, you're going to find that you don't need to put as much on because it's already opened your eyes. So this is the Sleep Cheat liner. But as I said, don't feel that you've got to go out and buy the Sleep Cheat liner. The idea, the concept is navy blue, a dark navy blue. So it's going to look almost black, but it's not as harsh as black. And it's going to open up the eyes. And then a cheat, an eye cheat. So you may have another brand of a navy eyeliner and an eye cheat, and it works. Okay? And also, because this works really well as well when you've got a warm eyeshadow on, because the navy blue contrasts with the warmth of the eyeshadow. And again, that just all helps to open the eyes when you haven't slept very well. Now, I've been talking way too much, as usual. I've always talked too much in my life, so I was bound to start a channel because I can chat away to myself and to you guys for ages, and it's okay. I've just got to sharpen this. Right. And then I'm going to do, I nearly did it above then. Right, so that's it in my upper waterline, and then I'll take it down here and then draw a line upwards. And then because you don't want a line like that, that's when you need to kind of connect it a little bit and do that in the corner. Right, and then I'm just going to blend it with my fingers. I think I made that flick a bit longer. It's because I sharpened this side. So this is looking a bit more intense than that side because I'd sharpened it. Kevin says that about you. Oh, Mick says it about me as well. Nothing wrong with that. And so now I'm just going to put this on here. Now I can get away with one coat of mascara rather than putting on tons of it. And I have to say, I don't even bother buying Pillow Talk now. I just get the samples every time I order because I love the samples. They're easier to hold. Just don't stop doing the samples. I'm going to put the mascara on afterwards and do a picture. Because one, I'm running out of time. And two, I don't want my eyes to start watering. I just wish I'd blended this in a bit better before it dried down. This is where you can use your magic cream to kind of tidy up the line, which I'll do later. But you can see it's opened my eyes. And then all I need to do is finish off with some lipstick. And I know the one that I'm definitely in the mood for today. And I think I have it here. I'm pretty certain I have it here. This is one of my favourites. I mean, you know how many lipsticks I've got, but I can genuinely say that this is one of my favourites. It's Pillow Talk Intense. I haven't got any lip liners, but I'm just going to put this on. This is the one Pillow Talk lipstick out of the three. There's Intense, Medium and Original. This is the kissing formula and I love it. You could put the matte ones on the lips, but I'm not a fan of matte. It's going to look too matte. And I did actually, last night, I did experiment with putting this on my lips. And this is like a lip stain. So if you want a lip stain, these are good for that. But you know me, I'm more of a full-on girl when it comes to lipsticks. But this works beautifully as a nice lip stain. And as you know, pigment is pigment. Now, I do need to do my brows. And I do need to put on a bit of mascara. But I don't need to do that on here. I think you can get the idea of this look. And I just feel like, you see, these are different colours, but they're just lovely. And they just look really natural. So I think these are going to be beautiful for the spring. Do let me know during the week. If you do put on any comments with swatch requests, I will make a note of them and make sure that I have them ready for my live next week. And I will be putting out some more videos shortly. Let me know. I might do another look using these wands. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do the much promised Flawless Filter, different shades. And I'm going to do the Victoria Beckham Lid Lusters. So the one I've got on this cheek is the peach one. And this side is Pillow Talk, isn't it? No. You see, I've forgotten already. No, this side I put a bit of this one on. The Dream Pop. To give me a bit of a pink. And this one is the Peach Pop. But I put a lot less of this on. See, if I must have left this open. I did leave it open. That's the problem with this. You can end up wasting a lot because you really only need a little bit. So this is the Dream Pop. The problem is, if you over squeeze this, you can't put it back in again. Even if I tried to reverse squeeze it to suck it in, but it just doesn't work. Well, I tried to squeeze it and then let it out, but no, I'm just going to make it worse. Yeah, I think you're right. Your choices, Stacey, I think are good. I'm going to have to, it pains me to do this, but I just do not want that all over the lid because it does start to get annoying. Right. So yeah, that's Dream Pop. This is Peach Pop. And I think for this look, I prefer the Peach Pop. Or Pillow Talk. Not that one, that one. You see, I'm going to get confused now because they all look very similar. Anyway, that's my video for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching me. And I'll see you all very soon. And I shall post a photograph of my finished look when I put my mascara and I'll paint my brows on. Don't forget, is the Dream Pop patchy? I think because they dry down very quickly and it's very pigmented. So you just got to make sure. What I would do with Dream Pop is I'd put a dot on my hand first, and then I'd start blending it with your fingers straight away. I think if you put a little bit on with the sponge and then you go away and you start picking up the brush, then it's not going to blend out because they do dry down quickly. So just make sure with these that you don't powder first, that you've got a bit of moisture on the skin before you start blending them. And that I would say, if you feel like you're not very good at blending, then I would start blending with your finger. And if it starts to look a bit patchy, you can always go over it then with your Hollywood brush, because it'll have a bit of your foundation on, and you can just go over it there, and then it'll kind of blend it out. But that's why people are saying it's patchy. It's because it's very pigmented and it's a strong colour and they dry down quickly. So it's just about blending them in quickly. All right, I'm going to go. Don't forget to like my live, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen, but ladies and ladies, if not. And I'll see you all very soon. All right, take care. Love you all. Mwah.